Good morning. I am attempting a YouTube live from my computer instead of my phone, like I've tried to 3 other times. So I'll have my morning coffee with all you beautiful people. And my house is nice and quiet right now, other than the sporadic rain that keeps coming. So I wanted to hop on here because there's been something on my mind that I just needed to share. Because as a coach, I try to teach the people that come to me for help where to find good information, because we should all be advocates for our own health, and we should never just take what someone else says blindly. I want you to be able to find studies. I want you to be able to contact doctors or how to talk to doctors. So, like, my job is to get you resources. And I was on Facebook the other day, and I belong to almost no keto carnivore groups, none of that. And my reason for this is because you have usually like 2 admins, maybe some moderators, and you don't know what kind of background that they have. And then you have a slew of members, and they get on there and they start giving advice. Um, some as if they were God, some as if they were a medical professional, but they're not. And even if they were giving really bad advice. The 2 groups that I do belong to on Facebook are both um, cooking groups, and the one that I've been part of for many years now is Carrie Brown's Keto Kitchen, and I joined her group because it's primarily all recipes. But because I've gotten to know Carrie herself, I've never had the pleasure of meeting her personally, but I hope to one day. But she's been interviewed by Dr. Barry and other people, and she shared her story. And she never comes across as, she has all the answers or she knows. She was trained as a chef, and so, but I just love her. She's just such a honey. And so that's why I'm part of her group. And you never get any crap or that you have to like worry about there. And then there's one other um, recipe group, essentially. Um, and I kind of, someone from Carrie's group sent me to that group. So that's fine. And, but I was on Facebook, and all of a sudden this really weird beginner's question pops up. And I was thinking that it was from one of the 2 groups that I'm in. I'm like, well, this is a really weird question. So I go to click on it to maybe give a helpful answer. And it's actually it's a public group, but you have to join to be able to respond. And I was like, oh, then I looked at the title, and it was a keto beginners for women. And so I could see that, I mean, these are a lot of beginner women. So I did request to join just to, see maybe I could be helpful. Um, oh my gosh. Like, I would never recommend anyone starting to join this group. Well, I wouldn't recommend joining at all. The questions were very sincere. The answers that were being given were horrific. The question that actually led me to go into the group was if anyone had ever done a keto diet with no vegetables, and really, really limiting the carbs. And people were like actually laughing at this, going, "That's not keto, that's carnivore." and that's not safe. And you need carbs. You need a minimum of 20, grams of carbs. And I was like, oh, Jesus, help me with this one. Because so I was correcting much of the horrible, inaccurate information. And then as I was looking through more and more of the posts, and even like the admin and the moderators, their whole view of this whole thing is not health. It was literally to lose weight quickly. Everything was about weight loss. And so a lot of the members kept liking my comments and agreeing with me. And but anyway, someone wanted to know how to get started on keto. And so I accidentally went and grabbed Dr. Berry's Keto 101 YouTube link, forgetting that no links were allowed to be shared or you immediately got a ban. Well, I ended up getting a 30-day ban on my first day being in the group. Oh, well, I was going to leave the group anyway, because like when it's a sea of 8,000 fish and they're all giving poor advice, my saying something is not going to change anything, and it's not a good value for my time. So just be careful with the groups that might pop up on your Facebook feeds. And then YouTube. YouTube is like now the place to learn and get education. But you want to make sure you're getting quality education. The more and more that you watch, then the algorithms will put in your home feed suggestions. These suggestions are not always good. So my rule of thumb is to stay with just a couple of, just subscribe to a couple of channels that are really good. They're professionals. They're not just like me. I mean, I hope that you subscribe to my channel. But I try to do more like fun things. So if you're looking for like medical, like my gallbladder, how do I do this? If I don't have a gallbladder, if my gallbladder is acting up, or I think I'm getting a kidney stone, could carnivore be causing this? That you're not going to find that on my channel. That's not my specialty. I would refer you to Dr. Ken Berry's channel, because he's got all those things up there. You have gout, you have, he will talk about those things and he makes videos. So his channel is perfect for that. He has all the studies that back anything that he puts out. And he doesn't twist any of the studies to fit things he's selling. You know why? Because he doesn't sell anything. He sells his books, but he really doesn't even talk about those on the videos, which he totally should, because they're really good. And he talks about his private group, and the private group is amazing. And yes, it's a subscription fee, but I'm part of it because there's perks, there's extra lives, there's extra ways to like actually interact with Dr. Berry and Nisha privately, or personally, I should say. But as far as like the free content that he puts out, it's solid. Dr. Anthony Chaffee would be another one to subscribe to, because that's quality information. You really don't have to question what he's saying. He does Q&As, and then he interviews other people, and I've never seen him have a non-solid interview, so I like that. Dr. Sean Baker is another really good one. He primarily just does interviews with people, and they're always really good. And what's really nice is he'll interview just some like someone like me, that is, can you check that phone? He'll interview, normal people in addition to like other professionals. You can look up Dr. Ben Bikman. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he does have an Instagram channel, but he's interviewed a lot, and Dr. Ben Bikman's information is solid. So those would be like the 4 people that I would say to follow. There are so many more on YouTube, and it seems like more and more are popping up every day. And I do follow Carrie at Homestead How. He's just starting up with the carnivore. So I just follow, he's not trying to like give information. He's just trying to let people share their journeys, and he's just sharing his journey, and he's working on getting a carnivore documentary put together. So that's why I follow his channel. And there was someone on that had been on he did this live where people could actually come on the video, and I actually did go on as well. And there was this one gal there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've got, YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah." And so I went and checked it out. I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Female, so I subscribed to her channel. And just the other day, she interviewed a doctor, and I will not say his name. And I had to unsubscribe because the amount of misinformation that this doctor was spewing, I was just flabbergasted. So her channel lost all credibility to me, because if you're going to interview someone like that, that's going to give out, he was saying that eating fat was just as bad as eating carbs. Like there's no difference. So have your sugar, but have it in moderation. No. So I unsubscribed to her channel. So just, be mindful. There's other long-term influencers out there that are doctors, maybe not medical doctors, but chiropractors or whatever. And they're trying to get into this sphere, and they make their own supplements and sell them. So like they might want you to buy their krill oil over having a good quality salmon oil or whatever. And there's one in particular, and I never, ever, ever recommend his channel to anyone. But he'll talk about studies and things like that, but he actually twists the information to fit the supplement that he's trying to sell in that video. Those are no bueno. You don't you really don't even want to have those on your radar. Just kind of scroll through, and you've got different people that are they have different schools of thought, and there's always more than one way to skin a cat. So like Dr. Barry had Dr. Sean O'Mara on, and so I've been watching some of Dr. Sean's videos, and they're good. His are all talking about how to eliminate visceral fat and stuff like that. And so for me, I'm using that as a just 1 second here. I just have to fix something here. Okay, so for me, I'm using that as education so that I can read the studies and the things that he's putting out there and use those for my clients. There is another gal. She puts out phenomenal recipes. I love her recipes. They're great. I usually end up having to tweak them. But I wouldn't follow her health advice. And so, you just have to be careful and find what fits for you. And You don't have to follow everyone that says, you know, they're doing keto or they're doing carnivore. So yeah, like the top, what did I say? 4 channels that I would recommend to really check into. Top one would be Dr. Ken Berry, because he's got pretty much like almost every topic. And there's a few topics that he still is working on getting stuff done, and I'm hoping that he gets some of those done because I could really use some of those videos. We keep bugging him in the group. But he's got something all the time. And then on Monday night, he does a public live and you can actually ask questions. Dr. Anthony Chafee, he's a really good one. And he's in Australia. He's an American doctor, but he's practicing in Australia right now. And so he has the interviews and then he does the FAQs. And Dr. Sean Baker. So those, I know I thought I said, well, it's at the beginning of the video. So there's other ones that are fun to watch and like watch their stories. And that's all fine. I don't subscribe to them because I don't want like my feed to be all, I just don't need to be subscribed to loads and loads of channels. I mean, if that's you, that's fine, but then I can't find things. So I like to watch like a lot of the actual low carb conference videos. They'll put them out. Some of them I've actually paid to join the conference virtually so that I can get everything, you know, from the speakers firsthand. But then they usually do end up like editing and whatever, and then putting them up. So there's like low carb down under, there's low carb Denver, there's a few different ones, and they put them up on YouTube. So you can search those. It doesn't mean you have to subscribe to a channel. But there's a lot of ways that you can get information. If you want fasting, Dr. Fung has a YouTube channel. So there, you know, there's stuff put up on there as well. So that's nice. The other one that I really like is Metabolic Mind, and that's with Dr. Brett Scher. And I like that because I've seen him speak at conferences, and he really obviously is focusing on the ketogenic way of life and brain health, things like that. And so I enjoy what he puts out, and it's a nonprofit organization. And there's just a lot of, he's got a lot of good doctors that come on, and nutritionists and things like that. And he interviews them. And so a lot of things for like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia. And those are all really important things because my family has been personally impacted by those things, by those illnesses. And so they're very prevalent in society. And so the more that I can learn, then the more that I can help people. So that is, if you're nerdy and geeky, that's another good one to follow. He used to be in with the Diet Doctor, but the Diet Doctor has kind of changed directions. There still is the Diet Doctor website, and they're not changing that. But the creator, the founder of Diet Doctor has kind of split off and starting a new like calorie centered approach, which we don't want to deal with calories. And so I've kind of gotten more away from Diet Doctor. But their original, like going to the website, is great. So yeah, so Dr. Brett Scher ended up leaving Diet Doctor and going and starting joining up with Metabolic Mind, and really good content put out on that channel. So I really I do enjoy that, and I was going to say something else now, and I totally forgot. So I will have another sip of coffee. Yeah, I mean, just continue to learn. I am always here if there's any questions. You can always type a question in the chat, and I'll come back and answer it as best I can. I am on Instagram with the same handle at Neolife Keto Sherry. I do have a Facebook page. It's Reef Natural, because I wasn't able to change it. But you'll know that it's me because it's got the Sherry's Low Carb Kitchen logo on it. So that is, those would be the ways that if you needed to get a hold of me, or, had a question and I got more content and stuff that I want to put out. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm still trying to get a hang of the lives, and that's why I kind of just wanted to do it this morning while it was nice and quiet in my house and try it from the computer. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and be sure to like this video and share it, because that helps with the Facebook or with the YouTube algorithms, so that it can help my channel to grow, so that hopefully I can help more people. All right. You have a great Labor Day weekend.
I think